Okay, so I lit this woodwick candle. It smells like coffee and is amazing, but I forgot that it's going to keep making this crackling sound, so I hope you guys don't mind. Fireplace ASMR vibes going on here. Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ishi and today I will be doing the end of the year book tag. I have never done this tag before, so I'm really excited to finally put mine out there as well. Fall has been an amazing reading season for me. I read lots of books and I liked lots of books, so I'm hoping to keep that momentum going into November and December as well. So wish me luck. Okay, getting right into the questions. The first question is, are there any books you started this year that you need to finish? Currently, I am in the middle of reading 3 books. The first is The Miracles of the Namiya General Store. I am really loving this book so far. I'm only on like the first 50 pages-ish, but I am really liking it. It follows these 3 felons, crooks, who break into this general store to kind of hide out there overnight, and they find out that time in this store doesn't work like time outside of it. Like, it's in this pocket of time all by itself, and they happen to find themselves exchanging letters back and forth with this woman who lives in the past. So it's all very interesting and I really love it. Another book I'm in the middle of reading is Honeycomb. This is a collection of fairy tales, but not the fairy tales that we all grew up with, but like fictional fairy tales, because I think the author just created them and some of them are inspired by the fairy tales that we are familiar with. Most of these fairy tales are about the silken folk, which are kind of like fae, fairy, and like those kind of creatures. It's super interesting and I am loving all the stories. I'm actually listening to the audiobook and I love the audiobook as well. Another book I'm reading is Beasts of Prey. This book came out fairly recently and I've heard amazing things about it. And if I'm not mistaken, I think there's gonna be a TV show of it too, but I'm not sure. I've only read like 10 pages right now, so I can't really tell you what it's about, but I am really looking forward to finishing it as well. I'm hoping to finish all of those fairly soon, in like the next week. Question 2, do you have an autumnal book to transition into the end of the year? Honestly, like not really. I mean, I do have books that I'm hoping to kick off this new season with, but I don't know if they count as autumnal. Right now, around the end of October and the beginning of November, I really want to read Frankenstein and Dracula. I think that these 2 are the perfect books to read around Halloween time, so that's what I'm going to be doing. I don't really know if either of these count as autumnal though. Question 3. Is there a new release you're still waiting for? Not really. Sorry, I don't have an interesting answer for this one. There are a few books coming out next year, but nothing in the next few months. Question 4. What are 3 books you want to read before the end of the year? Jade City, The Child Thief, and Wuthering Heights. This one I am least confident about because I feel like this is not the type of book that I could speed through. With classics, you need to take your time and go slow, and I really need to push myself to finish this one, I think, but I will finish it for sure. I am excited, just a little bit intimidated as well. Question 5. Is there a book you think could still shock you and become your favorite book of the year? So right now, my favorite book of the year is The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern. I really love this book and I highly doubt that anything will be able to top it. It might possibly be one of my most favorite books ever after The Secret History, of course. But I think The Shadow of the Wind could possibly give The Starless Sea a run for its money. I have not started this book yet, but I have heard great things and I have great expectations. So if any book were to top The Starless Sea, I think this would be the one to do it. And the last question. Have you already started making reading plans for next year? Not really. I don't really have any sort of finalized list, but I do have a couple books in mind that I want to read next year. I'm not gonna list all of them because I want to make a separate video for those books, but I can share a few of them. A Gathering of Shadows and A Conjuring of Light. These are books 2 and 3 in the Darker Shade of Magic trilogy. I read the first book back in, I don't know, 2020, 2019, I'm not really sure. But I haven't read these two because I wasn't the biggest fan of the first one, but I have heard that the series gets better with every book, so I am still holding on to hope. Hopefully I like these. I also plan on reading Rule of Wolves next year. It's actually really funny because I was so excited about this book. I pre-ordered it and I was gonna read it the second it arrived at my doorstep. That didn't happen, obviously, and what's funnier is that I was gonna buddy read it with Katie, and both of us just never talked about it again. So hopefully next year I'll read it. And finally, this is a book that I'm actually really excited to read, The Ferryman. This is Tristan, and he is a ferryman tasked with ferrying Dylan's soul across this wasteland. I don't really know much else about it, but it sounds really interesting and the cover is also super pretty. I just had to go and buy it. I actually had my eye on this and was keeping an eye out for when it came out in bookstores, and I went and bought it, so I'm very excited about this and I hope I like it, obviously. Those were all of the questions in the end of the year book tag. Please let me know some of your own answers to some of these questions as well. It's been a really good reading year for me so far. I have read 53 books, I think, 54, and my goal was only 40, so I am ecstatic. I'm also really surprised because I didn't really start reading until like March or April, so I started out pretty slow, but I am so glad that I've managed to reach my goal and exceed it, and I'm really excited for the end of the year, and I hope I like all of these books when I read them. Anyway, that's all from me today. My name is Ishi. Thank you so much for spending time with me, and I hope your day is as wonderful as you are.